Hey everyone, it's Edna Keep here. Chandel, can you let me know if you've got me live and if you're hearing and seeing me okay? I think I am on my business page now. Amanda, am I on the business page now? I see that you've joined me. I had a heck of a time getting on this morning. I couldn't, my coaching, oh perfect, okay, my coaching page wasn't coming up and I wasn't sure what was happening there, so I had to reset my phone, and then once I reset my phone, then I was able to get on. Okay, so sorry about that. So we're running a little bit late. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I'm about 15 minutes late, but that's okay. We'll get going. So sorry. I started on my my personal page. I didn't realize that. So thankfully, I have a team that points these technical things out to me, because you know what, it's challenging. Every time you think you've got it figured out, they change stuff on you, and then or Facebook changes stuff on you, and then it's hard to find. Anyway, today we're going to talk about getting an investment property under contract without using your own money. I'm going to specifically talk about our first deal. So I'm Edna Keep, real estate investor, entrepreneur, and coach. We've managed to build a portfolio to $47 million, 437 doors in 10 years. And we started 10 years ago next month. And like you, we did not have a clue what we were doing. So we did sign up for some classes right off the get-go, and we spent a lot of money. I think the first classes we bought cost us $27,000 US. So if you figure that out in Canadian dollars right now, you'll have an idea of what we were looking at. Plus we traveled. We went to Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Florida, Las Vegas. We're all over the place taking our classes. And you know, we totally immersed ourselves. We knew very early on our goal that we set for ourselves was that we wanted to have 50 doors, because we'd been told that if we could get $100 a month cash flow per door, that we should buy a property. So because that of course is just one way you make money with real estate, but that was what we were looking for. We were looking for passive income, and we wanted to have it coming in the door no matter what. So we figured if we set a goal for 50 doors, $5,000 a month, we had no plans on leaving our jobs or our careers. We liked what we did, and we were just looking at a side thing that we thought, you know, over the next 5 years, if we had 50 doors, that's 10 a year. Oh my gosh, that's so aggressive. But you know what, we might just be able to do it. We'd heard that other people had done it, and we thought, well, you know what, if other people can do it, I'm sure we can too. And lo and behold, we actually ended up with 50 doors in 18 months. So when we did that, we really knew we were onto something. And people kept asking us, because we were still in the midst of taking our courses. It took us more than a year to finish them all. And we would go to the networking opportunities with the same people that we'd started classes with, and some didn't have any properties, some had one, some had two, and we had 50. And so a lot of people started asking me, Edna, how the heck did you do that? And we realized that my background as a financial advisor really gave me a benefit, because I knew how to talk to investors already. So other than the very first two of our properties, which we bought with equity out of our home, we've used other people's money on. And today I'm going to talk about our very first one, because of course that was our most exciting, because we didn't know what we were doing. We'd taken some classes, we'd learned something, we knew more than the average bear, but it was still a different story to actually get it happening for us. So anyway, the story on getting the property under contract was one of our friends had been driving in an area that my daughter used to live in, and he phoned us up and he said, you know, it looks like there's a new duplex going up in that area, and there's a for sale by owner sign on it. You guys should check it out. So we drove over there, and well, Warren drove over there, because he's the one that likes to look at properties. Or maybe the first time I think we went together. And it was an up-down duplex, and it wasn't a new one. It was a very old one. It was built in the 50s, but the lady who was working on it, and she was doing a lot of the work herself, was updating it. So she'd put all new siding, all new windows. And so we went in and we started talking to her about her property, and we found out that she was just having challenges with tenants, and she was just tired of being a landlord, and she wanted out. She did not want to fix it up and still keep renting it. She wanted to fix it up and just sell it. That was her idea. She'd even had her own family members in there thinking that they wouldn't take advantage of her, and they still did. They weren't paying rent, and they left her a big mess in the end. So she thought, you know what, I'm just going to put some money in, fix it up, and sell it. So we started talking to her, and the prices at the time, we thought, you know, it's probably about a $150,000 house, but we were going to offer a lowball offer. So we offered $140,000, and she says, well, no, you know, I really think I can get 160, and it's not done yet, so there's more work to be done. It's going to look better than this, and yeah, I just think with everything that's happening in the market, I can get 160. So we went home, and Warren went back, you know, a few different times, asking her questions, finding out stuff, just kind of popped in when he was in the area. And eventually we thought, well, you know what, we're going to offer her full price if she'll finance the deal for us. So we asked her about it, and of course she didn't know what vendor financing even was. So we explained to her that what vendor financing is that she would keep some of her money in the property, and we would pay her interest on it. And so she said, wow, geez, that kind of sounds interesting. So you're going to give me full price for my property, and you're going to give me 6% interest on the down payment, which at that time would have been, we paid $160,000, and I believe it was $28,000 she was going to leave in the deal. You're going to pay me 6% on that. She goes, holy cow, I am going to win twice. I love it. She goes, let's do it. So we did have the $32,000 or $28,000 or whatever it was to put down and cover legal costs and everything. And so we made the purchase, but right at the lawyers, the swap was made out, and she signed the promissory note that said that she would lend us the money for 5 years, and we would just pay her monthly. So it was monthly $160. I still remember the amount. And, you know, we were able to cash flow that property over $1,000 a month. You know, it was just what was going on in the markets at the time. The very, very, very low vacancy. If somebody moved out, we were able to get somebody right back in. So we're very, very happy with that house. And the 2 condos that we had originally purchased were doing well too, but we could see with the condo fees that we just couldn't possibly make that much money. I think we were making $300 or $400 on each one, which was really, really good. Way more than the $100 that we were expecting when we first bought. But our cash flow king was this duplex. So we made it a plan that we were only going to buy duplexes going forward, and we did. We bought a bunch of them. And our key was, like I said, my background was financial advisor for 15 years. So I really know how to talk to investors. I really knew what they were looking for when it came to getting a return on their money and a return of their money, because that's always a big thing, right? And so we were able to attract investors. We built up quite a portfolio of joint venture properties with investors. And, you know, each investor had to put in about $70,000. So we decided, you know what, let's look at an apartment building. So our first apartment building was a 24 unit, and we raised all the money for that. And then, of course, it's been that way ever since. Now, when I tell you that to use other people's money, it's not that you just get to use other people's money. You get to use other people's money if you provide them big value and big service. Now, our value and our service is that we look after the property, and they supply the money and then and be on title and on the mortgage, and then we do everything else, and then just send them quarterly cash flow checks, and it worked really well. We decided we needed to scale if we wanted to keep growing this business, because 2 years later we knew we wanted to do this full time. We could just see the value. We could see the value for our clients, and not everybody from the mutual fund world followed me over. I had a very few actually, because a lot of people think, well, you must have got all your money from mutual fund clients. I didn't, and I think it's because I sold them too well on mutual funds. So there were a few that I had really, really good relationships. I think I only approached about 15 of my mutual fund clients that I wanted to take with me. They were open-minded people. They liked what I did. They liked me, all those kind of things. So, my very first joint venture client was from my mutual fund days. And you know what? That fellow still deals with me today. He's partners with us on, let me see here, 1, 2, 3 different buildings, and routinely helps us buy properties by doing interest-bearing loans to us. We did a purchase in Phoenix, Arizona not too long ago. He got 15% on his money. We got the building. We held it for about a year and then sold it off, and they got their money back with their 15% interest, and everybody was happy. So a few of those clients, they're getting a little older, so they're not always interested in cash flowing properties and a longer term investment. Sometimes they just like short term investments, which works really well for you and I too, because we can get more ownership on our properties by paying interest out to some of those investors. So I'm just going to check here and see if I have any questions. Hi John, welcome. Hi Amanda, hi Chandel. Chandel, not too many people followed over. There was more people on the personal page. Do you want to go give them a shout and tell them to come on over here? Because not sure what happened, or maybe they got frustrated with having to wait so long. So sorry about that again. Anyway, right now, we are starting a challenge on Monday that I wanted to share with you guys, because some of you have been following me for a while and you don't yet have a property under contract, and some people are brand new, and I just want to challenge you to get a property under contract. We're starting Monday. It's a 5-day challenge. There's a prize for somebody who gets something under contract in 5 days. So it's pretty exciting time. We offered this challenge a few months back, and it was very well received, and there was people learning some really good stuff on here. Now, when I say you get a property under contract, the main thing here, people, is to get the property under contract. What you need to realize is due diligence starts after you get the property under contract when you're dealing with multifamily homes. Most of the time you can't even get information on a property unless you've got it under contract. That means you got to put a deposit on it, or one of your investors has to put a deposit on it. And I'm going to show you how to do that, because I am a big believer that right from day one we can do this without any of our own money. And because there's things that we've learned since putting our own money on our first 2 condos of ways that we could have got around that. And then some people say, well, it wasn't really your own money anyway, because you borrowed it from the bank, from the equity out of your home. So it all depends how you look at it. Our favorite class was creative financing, and to this day it's the stuff that I really, really like to do. We're working on a deal right now that is really, really creative, and sometime over the 5-day challenge I'm going to talk to you about that. But for now, I want to talk to you because I know if you're on here that you're looking at building a real estate portfolio, and you may want just 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 doors over the years, and you know what, even 5 doors paid for in 20 years, you're going to be in very sweet shape that a lot of other people won't. So don't think that you have to go really big and buy 437 doors like we did. We're having fun with it, really enjoying it, and doing the parts only that we like to do. We don't do property management ourselves. We oversee the property manager. So just different things that we've learned over the time on how to really, really make it a business, how to systematize it, how to make it fit into your lifestyle, not have your lifestyle fit into real estate, all those sort of things. But anyone who has the drive and the ambition can build up a really nice real estate portfolio using other people's money. One of the keys here too is it's not just using other OPM or other people's money. It's using OPE or other people's experiences, OPK, other people's knowledge. There's so many things that you can use of other people's. You don't have to learn every single thing from scratch. One of the best things we ever did that helped us grow so quickly is we partnered with somebody who already had 40 doors by the time we came on board. They were only 2 years ahead of us, but they had, I think it was 40 doors. I might be a little out on my numbers, but I remember thinking, wow, if we could have 40 doors. Well, you know what? We helped them. We actually brought the very first apartment deal to them. We didn't have property management experience. They did. And so we partnered with them and got our first 24 unit under contract very shortly after we started working together. So it was a very exciting time for us, and together we grew really quickly. We did end up parting ways because we had different growth strategies, different ideas, but you know, they're still doing well, we're still doing well, and now after we were joint venture partners for a couple years, we decided we wanted to be on this side of the fence, bringing in our own joint venture partners. So that's another thing that I really want you guys to think about, is don't try to do everything by yourself. This is a game where you have to work with other people, especially if you want to scale quickly and scale and scale, period, because it's leveraging other people's experience, leveraging other people's money. So right away, if you're thinking of leveraging other people's money, you have to leverage other people's knowledge and experience as well. Very, very hard to get an apartment building financed if you have no experience. Very hard. And so we partner people who've got experience with people who've got money, with people who can get the financing. We put you in touch with property managers and realtors and mortgage brokers and all that sort of thing to really help you build. One of the things that we're going to do in the 5-day challenge is get people to partner up and be accountability buddies for each other, because we've seen action takers. We've seen stuff happening in this group when people take the 5-day challenge. So you could be one of those people. So what if you knew how to find the right properties and make the right partnerships with the private joint venture partners? Would that work for you? Would that be something you'd want to learn? What if you were earning a 6-figure passive income while you're also earning your joint venture partner's money as well? Would that excite you? You know what? I still love that part of the business. You may have seen some of my videos on how you can invest in real estate with other people's money, and I think Amanda or Chandel are going to actually post a video on here so that you can listen to it. It's a little bit more detailed. But I did want to share that story with you about our very first up-down duplex with other people's money, because it was so exciting. And you know, for you, it's going to be so exciting too. Vendor take-back is one of the easiest ways to get other people involved in your deal. Sometimes you're going to do that before you ever approach outside investors. You know, I still remember with that deal, I approached some outside investors about putting the down payment down, and one of them was actually my accountant, who was a good friend of mine. And he thought that he would put in half the money and I would put in half the money, and then I would manage the deal, and then he'd get half and I'd get half. And I said, no, that's not how it works. How it works is you put in all the money, I found the property, and I get half the cash flow. I get 50%, but I get my 50%, and all you have to do is put in the money. I'm going to do everything else. He chose not to do it that way. And, you know, like I said, we talked to a few investors, and then we just ended up going with the vendor take back, which worked out really, really well. And to this day, we've stayed friends with that lady. We chat with her every once in a while. She moved back out to Estevan, and I still remember at one point we ended up paying her off quicker than we expected to, just had the cash flow there and she needed it. And she phoned me up one day and she told me that they had two baby goats in the yard, and they named them after our girls. Wasn't that cute? Oh, it was so funny. So we had two. I don't know if she still has them the same names, but she had two goats, one named Desiree and one named Danny. So we thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, so you can invest in real estate with none of your own money. Absolutely know it. Absolutely believe it. Suspend all disbelief and just go for it. We did it. Yeah, we had a little bit of money of our own to get started, but I have since started people and have them real estate investing with the only money they've spent is what they've spent on my teaching. So there you go. And some people have went on to just buy one or two houses. Some people have decided to take their education further, and a year later are sitting on 48 doors, working on another 28 as we speak. So, you know, it just all depends. It depends how hard you're willing to work, how some of your relationships pan out that you're working on, because not everybody has that kind of luck going forward. Some people takes them a little bit longer. I know with us, it took us 18 months before we got to 50 doors, and we were so proud of ourselves. So when I see these young people doing it quicker than we do, or some of the people that are working with me now, I just absolutely love it. I think it's just so exciting. I get just as excited watching my students get properties nowadays as I ever did getting our own. Passive income is something I get asked about all the time. How can I create passive income? Well, you know, at the beginning, the real estate is not going to be that passive. You're going to have to work at it. But what we're working towards is long-term passive income. And when I say long-term, you know, I'm looking at 3 to 5 years. We created a $5,000 a month passive income in 18 months. Now, we chose not to stay there. We could have stayed there and kept our own jobs and be in great financial shape today. We chose, though, I sold my financial planning practice, and we concentrated on this more and more. And then you have a learning curve because you're spending money before you're making money. But now, you know what, we're so very happy that we did that, because it's what our net worth has increased a lot. Our cash flow's increased a lot. We're making good money. Our buildings are growing every year, you know, and we go through the fluctuations. Absolutely. In our market, we're kind of in a down market right now, so we're not seeing the growth, but we have been able to finance some of our buildings, pay all our investors back in like 18 months. I think is our fastest. 2.5 years is our second fastest, and then of course we're still holding some for a longer period. But like my mentor Don Campbell says, we will make more money on our average deals than our home runs, and we know that long term too. So just know that could likely happen to you. I'm just going to see what comments I have on here. Oh, good morning, Logan. Good morning, Sasha. Good morning, Astralane. Do you syndicate the deals? Yes, we do. We do syndicate the deals. Chandel's asking, how did we find out she would do a vendor take back? You know, we had to teach her what a vendor take back was. She didn't even know. So we used layman's language, and we just said, invest with us. We said, you're going to get, we knew that she didn't owe a whole lot of money on the property and that she would end up with a lot of cash in her pocket. And we just asked her, just said, you know what, we'll give you full price if you'd consider investing with us. And we showed her how she could invest that $28,000 or $32,000, whatever it was, and get 6% on her money. And we might have told her it was a vendor take back, but it didn't mean anything to her. What she knew she was doing is she was investing in her own little house and getting a return, and she didn't have to look after the tenants. And she got the majority of her money out of the house too. So that's how we did it. What do we got here? Amanda says, remember that the 5-day Real Estate Investors Challenge starts on Monday. You can participate live every day for 5 days, or do the recorded version, because we're also going to have it recorded. There's no previous experience required and no purchase required. This is a free challenge. And Amanda's also posted that video about how we got our first property under contract, if you want to listen to that again, because it's quite an exciting story. As far as business goals, when we started, we wanted to be comfortable at the beginning. We were just looking at extra income on the side, and but we've built wealth, and that's really what I think most people want. Is they want not just the passive income so they can have the lifestyle that they want, but they want to build wealth. Or some people do. Not everybody does. Some people just want to be comfortable and have their time back and be able to spend time with their kids and their families and stuff like that. So like I said before, you do need money to buy real estate. You just have to remember that it doesn't have to be your money, okay? So one of the exercises we go through very early on in the challenge is a find the money exercise. And my students are in my 90 Day to 5K program, where I get to see their money spreadsheets, are finding 13, 14, 3, 12. Like I have a minimum. The goal is they've got to find at least $1 million as part of their homework. And I'm finding people that are finding way more than that. So again, it just takes the know-how to do that. So again, starting Monday, we're going to begin a free 5-day real estate investors challenge. We want you to get a property under contract. The premise, again, remember, with multifamily especially, you don't have to do all your due diligence up front. You're probably only going to get the profit and loss statements after you've got it under contract. So we're going to give you a short way to analyze a property to see if it's something worthwhile, get it under contract, and then due diligence starts. And we're going to show you how to build a power team so that they can help you with that due diligence. Because again, it's not about trying to do this all by yourself. It's about getting involved with the right people so they can help you. By the end of the 5 days, if you've put in the work, and there is definitely work going to be involved, you really pay attention to the steps, you could have your own property under contract. And you know what, again, having a property under contract is going to be a huge bonus, but the learning that you'll go through over this 5 days will plant in your mind a seed that says, yes, I can do this. Because you know what, if a single mom from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, with a little more than a grade 12 education can go on to become a multimillionaire in real estate, you can too. I was never more than a C student. And one of my favorite books, so you know, is Robert Kiyosaki's book, Why Do A students work for C students and B students work for the government? And it's funny because I mentioned that book to my kids, and now my one daughter's in grade 9 in high school, and she keeps shooting it back to me because she was an A student in grade school, which I was too. But in high school, she's dropped, and I keep telling her, like, you keep those marks up, and she says, Mama, I just want to be a C student. I don't want to be working for anyone. So I think that's kind of funny. I just kind of laugh at that, and I'm sure her teachers think I'm absolutely crazy, but whatever. The other thing I like to point out to people is take your education from people who've done what you want to do. If your poor uncle hears that you want to take a challenge like this and tells you you're crazy or you're stupid, you know what? What kind of financial shape is he in? And then if you want to do what he did, go follow his direction. Because, you know, maybe he's in good financial shape. Maybe he's a rich farmer, but maybe you don't want to farm. So again, you can take some advice from him, but take your real estate investing advice from somebody who's done it. Somebody who's doing it, somebody who's working in it every day and knows what they're doing. That's probably some of the biggest wins that we had early on, was dealing with people who are doing what we wanted to do. So that's a biggie. Again, you can do it without any of your own money. We're going to show you all the ways to do that. It's going to be a learning curve for you, and you're going to come out knowing that it is entirely possible to be buying real estate with none of your own money. You're going to learn how to find an investment property. You're going to learn how to find private investors. You're going to learn how to analyze a deal. You're going to learn how to negotiate and close a contract. You're going to learn how to build your power team. and so much more. Like, I can't even tell you all that you're going to learn in 5 days. I've had people go back and listen to the videos a few different times because there's so much golden nuggets in there that they couldn't even absorb it in one sitting. So the part of the challenge is the first person to get a deal under contract from start to finish and shows me proof will, and it may not just be one, just so you know. So if there's 5 people that I have that get a property under contract, there'll be a draw made. One person will get a chance to be part of my 90-day to 5-day program, and go into the group. You'll be talking to some people who graduated that class, and they can tell you exactly what they've got out of it and what they've been able to do since they went through that class. So if you're going to be in, type I'm in. I would love to see you all on board. And I think Chandel said we've got like over 500 people in the group. Some people have been through the challenge already and are off working on stuff. Some people have upgraded to the 90-day to 5K program and are actively working on building their portfolio. And some people chose not to go any further because, you know what, it is hard work. So it's up to you. 5-day challenge. Learn what you need to know about buying real estate. I look forward to seeing you Monday, and please let me know if you're in. Oh, and I guess I'm supposed to tell you, we start at 12 p.m. Eastern or 10 a.m. Our time here in Saskatchewan. And again, if you can't make it live, it'll all be recorded. Amanda wants me to point out the value of the 90 days to 5K giveaway. Well, you know what? When I first started offering my 90 day to 5K program, it sold for $5,000. I do have it on sale right now for $22.97, I believe. I like fast action takers, so people who finish the 5-day program and decide to move on, that'll be your price. I really look forward to working with you guys and helping you build that portfolio. Perfect, great, thanks. I'm glad to hear you're on board there, Sasha. It'll be exciting. I think I got a few more on here too. I just got to look through all the names. Okay, well, I am going to sign off, and because I think I'm way past my time. I will see you right here, right back here, 10 a.m. Saskatchewan time, 12 p.m. Eastern for the start of the 5-day challenge. Bye for now.